Poppy Playtime has gotten a ton of updates, from new Chapter 3 trailer updates, a new upcoming Project Playtime update, and even some hints pointing at a Chapter 2 remaster coming very soon. Like the video if you end up enjoying, but let's get right into it. So it's been a couple months now since there's been a Poppy Playtime news video, and that's because as we get within 2 to 3 months of the long-awaited Chapter 3 finally coming out, it seems like the next big update we are going to get is going to be a massive one. But in the meantime, the developers have given us some extra pieces of news while we wait, starting with Project Playtime updates relating to Chapter 3. Recently, if you didn't know, with Chapter 3 being slated for this year, most of the development has actually stopped on Project Playtime and was moved into Chapter 3 for obvious reasons. However, despite this, the developers on their Discord server have recently been mentioning on a few occasions that something related to Project Playtime is still cooking up for the future, whether that be a new content update or possibly even Phase 3. And while Chapter 3 is obviously still their main focus, as we touch upon later in this video, they've said that there are a lot of resources still focused on getting Project Playtime content out for those concerned, with someone even asking the developers if there was anything planned for Project Playtime before the release of Chapter 3, to which they simply just said we would be given a notice a few weeks before if they are planning to drop something, just have to make sure it's ready and stable. So clearly it seems like there's some sort of new Project Playtime update that's going to be coming in the very near future, and while we don't know what it's going to be for sure, we can guess that it's going to release around Chapter 3 itself ends up coming out, because they basically confirmed at this point a few months ago that they will be adding the Chapter 3 main antagonist into the game, along with skins to release with it as well. And in fact, while the devs haven't given us any look into what this upcoming Project Playtime update is going to be, they have also been showing interest in adding achievements into Poppy Playtime, and specifically Project Playtime, which is interesting because the devs on Twitter all the way back in July actually teased some sort of trophy called the Train Trophy, presumably for Project Playtime, so they are definitely working on adding an achievement system. It's just like we said, Project Playtime doesn't have much of a team working on new content at the minute, so I wouldn't expect it for a while. And I've seen some people theorize that this could be them teasing the 3rd season of Project Playtime coming out a couple months after Phase 2, and while it is possible, it took the developers like 6 months to go from Phase 1 to Phase 2, and with their limited resources, I highly doubt this update is going to be some sort of overhaul or anything like that. And like we said, we know there's going to be an update for Chapter 3 once that releases, but also furthermore, it seems like there's going to be another update before Chapter 3 releases, because if you don't remember, in the screening room for Season 2, we were given the mysterious phone slash toy creature that we are supposed to wait to receive a call from, and in the Chapter 3 trailer, we actually see the exact phone laying on the ground, so clearly this phone is related to the chapter, whether that be for the ARG or trailer related, giving me the impression that at the very least, we could expect there to be some sort of update in the screening room allowing us to use the phone at some point. I'm not sure, but let me know what you think the phone is for in the comments below. A couple pieces of quick merch news is recently the PAX West gaming convention showing off games like Five Nights at Freddy's has just ended, and while Poppy Playtime didn't have a booth, sadly enough, they were still there in a couple ways. Specifically when they announced a brand new figure with Good Smile, which looks like it'll be pretty neat once it's all finished. And during the same time span, people have actually been spotting areas in Spirit Halloween booths advertising Poppy Playtime Halloween outfits coming soon, so we could secure our Huggy Wuggy drip for the fall. But judged from what I've been seeing online, the designs for these outfits have been interesting. Moving on to some Chapter 3 news, while not too much has been said about the game and its release because we are getting extremely close, the developers have once again restated that the new main antagonist is going to be someone completely new. So with that being said, while it's kind of obvious, this seems to confirm that the main enemy is going to be the purple creature from the trailer, or something new entirely. Also, in regards to when we can expect some actual new content for the chapter, like a new trailer to release, or better yet, an update on the over a month-old ARG at this point, people have been asking the developers a million times for an update, and the most they were able to tell us is that once everything is ready, we will be told, and that while there's no release date for a trailer or anything yet, supposedly once they get one, we will know in advance, similar to how they dropped a release date for their last trailer, which leads me to believe, based on everything that they are saying, it seems like the rollout of Chapter 3, when it is finally ready, is probably going to be similar to Chapter 2 in the most recent teaser trailer, where they will most likely launch a premiere on YouTube multiple days before it releases, so it's not like it's just going to drop out of nowhere. Furthermore, something the developers have mentioned a lot recently is that they've restated that Chapter 3 is going to use Unreal Engine 5, which, if you didn't know, is a much higher quality engine than what we saw with Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 that used Unreal Engine 4. And while we haven't seen any gameplay, it's honestly going to look incredible when we do. So expect a massive graphical boost. And in fact, they've also said that all future projects are going to use Unreal Engine 5, meaning new chapters, potentially new remasters, or new games entirely are going to be miles above in quality visually compared to what we have so far, which gives me an ambitious future. And slightly unrelated, they have also brought up the idea of moving Project Playtime to Unreal Engine 5. However, they sounded pretty unmotivated with the idea and how hard it would be to do so, so to be honest, I wouldn't count on that. However, I think the biggest piece of news that we need to talk about today, above everything, is that it seems like Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 is going to be receiving a big update extremely soon to build hype for the next chapter. As if you didn't know, recently the developers had actually remastered Chapter 1, presumably to put it up to par with the upcoming chapters, especially since the game is almost 2 years old at this point, while also in the process adding some new languages in the game to fit a more international audience. However, what makes this very interesting is that the developers have also confirmed on other occasions that there were 100% plans to remaster both Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 at some point. So we know it's at the very least planned to have some sort of recreation for the release of Chapter 3. And what's extremely interesting is that recently the official Poppy Playtime Spanish Twitter account had actually posted a VHS tape a couple days ago that was the Chapter 2 Mommy Longlegs intro. However, this time it was instead dubbed into Spanish.
Con el nuevo producto de Playtime Co, plástico elástico.
So it seems like the developers have been working on converting not just Chapter 1, but also Chapter 2 into other languages, and are even going in and dubbing them out, which is most likely why the Chapter 2 remaster that's been rumored for a while now is still not out yet. In fact, to add on to this theory, a couple weeks ago, the Poppy Playtime Monsters and Mortals DLC was supposed to release and it was already finished, but according to their official Twitter account, was supposedly held back to a very specific date, presumably to release with some sort of important Poppy Playtime news. Now, after thinking about this for a while, I don't actually think this could be for any sort of Chapter 3 update, because that shouldn't be releasing for another few months. So I wonder if it actually could be releasing with this rumored Chapter 2 remaster that they've already started teasing recently. And as for release dates, while it's very possible and probably even likely that they will release it at some time random, the Monsters and Mortals developers mentioned a very specific day, and in theme, next month is actually going to be Poppy Playtime's 2-year anniversary. And so I think in fashion for the 2-year anniversary, it would make sense to remaster Chapter 2. And in fact, while I could be stretching on this point, the Chapter 1 remaster originally was meant to start the Chapter 3 ARG, where they were supposed to add a key-locked hidden room, but was canceled in development. So maybe Chapter 2's remaster, if it even exists, could be a continuation of the Chapter 3 ARG, and maybe there could be some secrets hiding in this mysterious remaster that seems to be coming extremely soon. I don't know, it sounds like a really good theory, but let me know what you think this all means in the comments below, and peace out, guys.